Welcome back to the Asian Oceanic Beach Ultimate Championships here in Shirahama, Japan. We're now in the men's division, the bronze medal match. We have Australia taking on Singapore. Unfortunately, Singapore just losing the bronze medal game in the women's division, so they'll be looking to go one step further than the female side and get that bronze. Australia with a tough loss against the Japan national team yesterday in a wild, windy semi-final. Liam Grant alongside Sofia Pereira.
I'm looking forward to this game, Liam. I think Australia, unfortunately, I don't think had much of a challenge throughout the tournament, and it didn't help them against Japan, bringing them here to this last bronze medal match of the day. Oh, that is a typically beautiful pull by Australia. We saw this all day yesterday.
Yeah, definitely the best pulls of the tournament go to Australia. They do a lot of practice with that, pushing Singapore back into their own end zone. Now on the disc, Aaron looking for Spirit captain Kashif, who goes deep. There's a poach there, so instead they hit that under. Tan. Nice up the line from J-Lo. Good offense here from Singapore.
Great offense. You would never know there's like a 40-kilometer-an-hour wind going on here. This is beautiful, ultimate. Oh! Oh!
Yeah, it's the first turnover of the game. So disc now with Australia looking to break. Going, I suppose there is, it's more of a crosswind today on the shore coming towards the camera. So it's not too much of an up and downwind. They're throwing crossfield into the wind to Ben Foley. And now Australia get a little give go. Hodgson wearing black gloves. They had some white gloves yesterday. The man from Colony now going up line. So often we see him go to the end zone, and he reels in a great score. Australia break for the first point.
What a great score, what a great point. That height is helping Australia as well in this wind, but tall can catch low. That was a low catch, well read. Disc has, we've seen it die there in the previous bronze games. It does wonky things there, but this Australian team has been putting on some great men's beach ultimate all week. And is now going to try and get that break. I mean, we saw this game yesterday as well, and it was streamed. Singapore putting on an O-line now, and Australia hoping to get that break.
Yeah, Singapore had a tough loss in the semi-finals against the Philippines in windy conditions. I think they lost maybe 13-1, 13-2, big blowout. Australia went 4 down against Japan to start off that windy game. Did not adjust quickly enough and couldn't fight back. They fought hard. The water encroaching on their field made for a very strange final point of a photo of people standing in shin-high water playing a match point against the Japanese national team, but they were not phased. All Japanese national teams making it to the finals.
All Japanese national teams making to the finals, including 2 Japanese teams, a club team and a national team in the women's final.
Now a forced backhand from the Reef Sharks, a little bit flat as well. Just working this near sideline, working the fore side the whole time. And a bump on the mark there.
Immediately uncontested.
Tan, Victor Tan with the disc. And now the shot up line, and it's a goal. They score their second O point.
Nice offense by Singapore, evening it out to 1-1. Yeah, that's right. That was a tough game for Singapore against the Philippines. Just couldn't shut down that really quick offense of the Philippine men's team, who is going to show us that later on in the final. And now here, Australia's looking good. I had the opportunity to have dinner with Elliot after that tough game against the Japan national team going into the final that had beat them. And in fact, it's tough when you come in so strong and you go into a game, the first game, with the team from this country, the home team, who just moves the disc. I mean, we've seen Japan do amazing things all tournament long, and I don't think that Australia was just prepared for that kind of pressure, because they just hadn't seen it. They had just won easily all their games prior to that. Sometimes that doesn't help.
Yeah, I feel like this will be a tighter affair, though.
It will.
Now we see the flick pull cutting into the wind. This one's going to hang. It could go anywhere.
What a beautiful MTA.
Yeah, now Kylo with the disc. Both teams forcing backhand, trying to force towards this near side. Warren White, who was a standout in their quarter-final matchup, has fantastic pulls as well, but now on the O-line for Australia. And the round swing is there. This one could hang up in the air. Oh, and it's a foul called. There was a small bit of contact there. It was drifting over his head. Josh Howard.
They're quickly discussing and communicating whether the contact influenced the play, and if there was a foul, quickly coming to a decision. There's three options here. The foul will stand, the foul will be accepted, the foul will be contested, and the disc will go back, or the other is that the foul will be retracted. And we will see that by the hand signals the foul was contested. The disc went back.
Yeah, so Australia maintain possession with Davis, McManus. Looking to bob weave in the front, and there's a nice inside break to open up the field and get the goal. Warren White.
For a 2-1 lead from Australia, very strong O, very difficult to shut that down. Intense and tight D from Singapore, but this team is really strong, and they communicate with each other, with the disc, very well, making it very difficult to get that break, and obviously not happening that point. Here we are in beautiful Shirahama in the third bronze game of the day in the men's division, the WFDF Asian Oceanic Beach Ultimate Championships. The whistle is going, indicating that the disc must go for that pull. And that is the first time that we see that happen with this team. This team has been the pull master all tournament long. Unfortunately, that disc, the wind just took it.
Yeah, they've been so good at their pulls. I'm just going to say this is a tactic. They've been so precise with their pulls that maybe they decided to play, half-court defense, just throw it straight out of bounds. He got 2 yards out of it. So short field for Singapore. Getting high in the stall count. Big swing to J-Lo. Gets a continuation back, and there's a nice pop pass. And a great goal for Singapore. Didn't have to go too far.
Nope.
We're given a short field.
No, unlucky for Australia, lucky for Singapore, keeping it tied at 2-2, making it a really exciting game. We have some shout-outs that we'd like to share with you at the WFDF AOBUC 2019 Championships. here's our shout-outs for this tournament. WFDF, supporting and promoting the global advancement of disc sports, spirit of the game. VC, outfitting the world's best ultimate players since 1998. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. Friction gloves, be prepared for rain, humidity, cold, wind, and more. Up, Universe Point cleats, specifically designed for the great sport of ultimate. And you might be wondering why I'm talking about cleats at a beach ultimate tournament. Well, Japan just had their regionals last week, I believe, and they will have nationals coming up on grass, and these are the cleats to be wearing. Greatest bag, the #1 bag, designed for and by ultimate players. Eric, fighting cancer through early recognition. And BULA, promoting the sport of beach ultimate and spirit of the game worldwide.
Australia with the disc now, very flat force from Singapore, and there the turnover comes. Looking to break now, Singapore, and take the lead. Short field to go again. Good pressure coming from the Aussies. Blaz, a great goal. The pop and swing into that break side corner gets them the lead.
Popping it all day long, that was amazing. Singapore now getting the lead 3-2. Oh, this team we were talking about in the earlier game in the women's division, how basically all the Singapore teams practice on a beach that has the space for approximately one field, and everybody practices on that particular beach, just taking turns. So they only really get a chance to practice as a team about once a week. They also is not a windy nation, definitely not obvious by the offense of these players. They had a lucky break earlier, just the point before this one, and now again, 3-2 lead. Pretty impressive. That's a strong O-line though, Liam, on that Australian squad.
Yeah, Trotter, Payne, Kylo, Hodgson. And I think that's Howard perhaps making up the five on the line for Australia.
A little height, lots of speed, lots of experience. This is going to be very nice to watch.
And in fairness, Australia don't seem to have very set O and D lines. Everyone able to play both. Good balance in this roster. Oh, and a high disc from Trotter can't be caught by Kylo. Now looking to break again.
Nice way to break that up the line. That's great defense.
Singapore eventually get the high stall pass off as Australia scramble. Pick call there. It's going to be coming in and probably low stall count, stall 1. So they have the disc now. That is in across the field. Low, and again that quick swing and hit, catching out Australia. Perfect end zone offense from Singapore.
I was just thinking how this was very reminiscent of what we saw Australia do yesterday in their defense in the quarterfinals, that they trapped the disc on the far end zone and then put up a yellow wall of people. This one nicely broken, opened up the whole field. That was beautiful point, beautiful offense by Singapore. So we had a great party here last night in Shirahama. The closing party, well, it's not really closing, but it's usually the night before, only full bar, street, etc. Starting off at the hotel and then at the Blue Bar, which we've been going to basically every night almost. It was lots of fun. Did you do some dancing, Liam?
Dancing of sorts. I was led by dance coordinator Hedy Kim in the party. Definitely, I think, winning the party, Korea mixed team boom for their effortless dancing skills.
Definitely, and you did some bar bench dancing.
Yeah, I had a great time. at the blue bar last night. We'll see a lot of the same players staying out there for another offensive point after being broken twice. And now we see a deep shot there from the Aussies. This one ballooning in the air at the wind, and that was unfortunate.
That was unfortunate. That almost seemed like it had an air blower underneath, making the disc go up and down, doing some sine like curves. And we see the Philippine women right here, very happy, big, large, beautiful smiles.
Yeah, it was great to end the tournament with a win. Both these men's teams looking to do the same. Very short stack, going deep straight away. That's what Australia were trying to force. And they were able to generate a turnover out of it. Carlo wasting his time and picking this one up. Slicing up the field to Trotter, who throws through some contact. I think he saw the contact and almost just tried to get a free throw out of it as he's bumped on that backhand. Uncontested foul.
There's the disc.
So coming in on stall one. Get up the field to the workhorse that is Foley. And a pick has been called. And that pick did happen a little while ago. It's going to go back. I don't think Carlo Trotter wants the pick to stand, but I'm pretty sure it will.
I actually didn't get a chance to see it just because we're not on the field that with the stands because of some serious water invasion, and so I didn't get a chance to see it. Somebody was walking in front, but I do see that there's some serious work going on in that field, which hopefully the finals will be back over on that field with the stands. The Japanese community has gotten together to pump out that water overnight. Last night when I looked after I got home from the party, the water was still there from yesterday. It just wasn't going away. It made sort of a little pool, but it looks like they're doing a good job. Disc is back in play.
Yeah, Trotter getting high in the stall count. Looking towards the end, so goes for the scuba in this wind. Always difficult to execute.
That wind definitely turned that disc upside down on him. Strong wind coming in from the sea here, and gusty. At this point, I don't feel much wind for the first time all day. However, if I look over there, the flags are going strong. But when that disc went off, it was really windy.
So looking for their third break in a row now is Singapore E with the disc. Again, hard working offense from the Singapore. Doing a little better than Australians and spacing out their cuts. Get those lateral cuts across the field. That one's going to be down. High release lefty from Kylo. His trademark break throw. Here it is again. Patent pending on that one. Don't know if the man can throw a flick, and why would you want to? Lefty's where it's at, and there's the backhand on the flick side.
Very nice. Very nice. He just wanted to show you.
Yeah,
that he can use that backhand to do whatever he wants with it. That was amazing movement, and bringing it up. A well-needed point here. If they can get the break now and even out. See if they put some height on this defensive line.
Yeah, so that was a hold for Australia, but still 2 breaks down, I think, in this game. See Coach Brett Layton there issuing out the orders.
Wind is definitely back with a vengeance.
And kind of surprising in that semi-final yesterday against Japan. You'd think with a very windy game might favour the Australians being much taller than the Japanese, but their quick play and quality of throwing really has stood out for the Japanese. Just an incredible wind. They put so much spin on the disc. It doesn't affect their flight path at all. And I think I have quite a lot of experience actually playing in windy conditions in Japan. I know the Dream Cup often windy events near Mount Fuji. J-Lo gets a nice leading pass to the handlers. D-Tan.
Such nice clean O.
Lopez. Well, that one a little bobbly, but it'll work out. They put so much focus on these short passes, and there's the turn.
You see the wind just wants that disc to go down when it comes in this direction. Yeah, I have a feeling these Japanese teams at this point are really strong. They've been working really hard for nationals. They're all very fit, amazing disc skills. Oh, look at that.
And that was a visionary throw to Joel Muskovic. Now parked outside the end zone. Joel, the spirit captain on this team. Gonna play a card game with him. I think it's called Coop. Safe to say I was terrible at it.
Oh, really? Pick being called in Australia with a chance to even it up here.
Joel, the assassin outside the end zone here, looking to push it in, and there is the goal. And that is a break for Australia, so they get one back to tie the game at 4s.
That's right. What a great game. We've seen such great games today. Another even game, 4-4. Wow. You can hear the Australian celebrating. Timeout now. Teams are just getting together, taking a breath, discussing strategy. Sometimes the timeout is actually good to just breathe and connect with your team. You don't even have to talk about much sometimes. It depends. Both teams had very tough semis and are now showing us a fantastic bronze medal game. Really closely matched. Very different styles of play between the two teams. Singapore's been doing some very pretty offense, as has obviously Australia, just scoring 2 points in a row.
Yeah, so Singapore taking a timeout after Australia got, I believe, their first break of the game.
I believe that this Australian team also doesn't get much of a chance to play on sand. That might have been an advantage also for Japan. It's mostly a grass team. Australia, although it has wonderful beaches, there's not as much beach ultimate, or not that much beach ultimate. There is no men's beach ultimate there's a mixed championship, but not a men's championship.
Yeah, bronze medalists. A lot of these players with the Reef Pie mixed team. So looking to add another bronze medal to their collection here.
They got a bronze with Reef Pie, I believe. Is that correct as well?
Yes, that's true.
And that's your favorite jersey, I've heard as well.
Yeah, that looked pretty funny. They actually meshed platypus along with a reef shark on their jersey, so an unusual one. Kind of baby blue color.
There's that
the green and gold of Australia now, looking to get another break. Kashif, Tan, and a bump between Lopez and Trotter.
See that amazing footwork by Kai on defense. Cuts up the line, doesn't give him anything, comes back. The turn power of number 3 Kai is just incredible. Very, very fast player. Fantastic on both O and D. Just incredible player. And the best backhands in the tournament.
Yeah, Kyle O coming out of Perth. Heads down to Margaret River every now and again, where you'll find beautiful sandy beaches like this. Good surfing waves there as well. Just had a big surf competition there in Margaret River at the box. But now Australia looking to get another break in a row here. Getting high in the stall count, and there's the flick from Kyle. And you can see why he maybe goes to the backhand, but it's completed.
That was great catch. Great patience just watching what would happen with that disc.
And now it's back with Kyle, who quickly dishes it to Trotter, trying to get us to that far side of the field. If you can keep it up the upwind side, it makes it a little easier on those resets.
Singapore putting on such strong defense.
And now that's the give-go action. Kyle and and a drop.
Oh!
Unfortunately, looks like there could be an injury called as well.
Looks like something happened there. He's crawling off the field.
As we see 2 jet skis in the distance there.
Substitution coming in with a wide-brimmed hat. Surprised that hat is staying on his head in this wind. Must be on pretty tight. Looks like he's okay. He's standing up.
Now Lopez. Discussion with Trotter about a travel coming in the front corner, probably being a little pedantic. There is a big orange goalpost cone being used, so a little hard to set your pivot foot, but it's not going to stop him launching the hook. That one a little too much on it. It goes diagonally across to the other corner of the field.
Bit more turnovers than we're used to seeing on this point. As the time wears on, also the tiredness starts to set in.
Kyle, another flick that ends up in the air. This time won't be bailed out. Lopez. J-Lo, as he's more commonly known. Antonio Junior Lopez, wearing the backwards Singapore hat. And now we see Singapore look to get that continuation, but I think a pick was called in the stack.
You could hear the reaction to that pick call from the Singapore women's team supporting on the sideline.
Yeah, Singapore women finishing 4th. I believe the Australian women finishing 5th. So only one place separating both nations in both divisions, men's and women's. Yet to be determined who will finish on top in this matchup, as we are tied at 4s. Very intense game here. Very patient from Singapore, always looking to use the whole width of the field. Oh, an incredible layout. Can't get there. Australia working hard on defense.
And doing a good job of it. Singapore's having a hard time resetting the disc. They're managing to do it, but with a lot of pressure.
Rowan Sivanandam on the force for Australia. Looks like it could be coming in stall 5 or so. So this call going on for quite some time. We hear the sideline saying it's gone on for 45 seconds, which probably means it's going to be a contested call. Maybe just discussing how they can improve their play and avoid calls like this happening again.
Here, disc is coming in now.
And another beautiful inside flick to open up the field. Always scoring on the break side, Singapore.
That's right. Really nice patience by the handlers until they have the cut in the end zone on the break side. Seemed to be so easy. Well done. Both teams are playing quite well. Very evenly matched. This has been a great, really close game. It's a very exciting game. And a well-deserved great game for these both teams. A lot of work all week. A lot of smiles and dancing from Australia at the party at the hotel yesterday. The first party.
Yeah, shout out to Giddy Up, who probably the hardest of all the Australian teams. They're actually being called, I think, the Australian national team at this event, even though they are just a mixed club team, but having a bit of a laugh about that.
There's the whistle.
And I believe the timed half is gone, so I think it might be a +1 for half. Not entirely sure. And that is a brilliant flick pull, textbook. You know, landed end zone, Blady, roll out, gives loads of time for the defense to come down and set, puts them in a difficult position. But Kylo, an incredible cutter downfield, sensational pace, always going to get you that first option.
Nice cut by Elliott too, just not seen.
And a flick across the field is going to be caught in bounds, I think. Maybe discussion, he might have been forced out if even he landed out, but no call here. Foley keeping it simple.
And
Josh now to the end zone. That's a beautiful goal for Australia. Tied again, 5-5.
That was a great goal. That was great offense by Australia. So, Liam, tell me something. In these 4 days, we talked about at the beginning on day one what we would have predicted or not predicted. What about these 4 Japan teams in the finals? One club team, and then both mixed and women's mixed. Women's is 2 Japan teams. The men's, we will have Japan versus Philippines and both mixed Japan versus Philippines. But that's something that you would think could happen.
Yeah, it's definitely something I envisioned when I saw the wind pick up, playing into their favor. But Japan sending some very strong national teams here, as well as club teams.
Waves are picking up and gaining momentum into the beach. Let's hope it doesn't. Oh, that corner.
Yeah, similar style pool for Singapore. Again, keeping on this near sideline now, Singapore. Now they get the swing off. Tan. Again, stretch the field so well. So we're getting high in the stall count. There's that inside flick. And we see yet again Australia stretched like a slinky. Every single time they get outside the end zone, Singapore just back and forth. Quick pop pass to the break side, and they punch in the goal.
Those IO flicks just are undefendable. Amazing work by Singapore.
Yeah, getting a case of deja vu every time I see Singapore outside the end zone. Nearly every single goal scored in the exact same fashion. Australia doing their best to take it away, but they just can't at the moment. They were forcing backhand at some stage, and the quick pop pass to catch him out. They're forcing flick. Philippines have a very effective inside flick forehand to the break side.
So definitely 30 minutes gone in the game. The 25-minute halftime cap was called a while ago, and then it's a cap 1 to that for half. Oh, Liam, I think you might be able to catch that. Oh, I think that was just run over by a car. It actually went at least a field length out of the field onto a parking lot. It's being picked up. No, it wasn't run over by a car. And we have Travis, the spirit director, bringing it back. Oh, there's a new disc on the field.
Yes, we have a new disc on the field, thankfully. Plenty of pink discs brought to you by Discraft here to keep this game rolling. Now kind of a spaced out vertical stack from Australia. And here comes the Payne train, having a quieter game than he did in the quarterfinal. Looking for the end zone always. Hudson just keeping it nice, short and simple. And a child quite close to the end zone there. They should be careful, keep the 3 meters away from the end zone, but good stand outside the end zone from Singapore on defense. Foul is called.
Nice and safe offense by Australia. Playing their handlers, waiting for the cuts. We see an interesting cutting, actually. Everybody does everything.
And looks like that's towed in by Hudson, getting a second goal of the game. Going to be debated whether he's in or not.
There's Singapore on the line calling it in. Singapore team on the line is calling it in. Obviously, the perspective of calling in and out is sometimes very difficult, because sometimes perspectives can be very different depending from where you are in the field. And in the end, it will be his decision. It is a point. Often, what we do when we are not sure and nobody's sure, and you ask around for the best perspective from the sideline, and you're not sure, you just take the disc back. But the rule states that the decision is of the receiver to call it in or out.
So yeah, tied up at 6s, I think. And now the score.
I think so too.
So we haven't seen halftime just yet. So this will be a Galaxy point.
Galaxy point.
Halftime at 7 in Beach Ultimate. Games to 13. If you don't get the 13 within 45 minutes, you add 1 to the high score and play to that.
Nice to see the pink disc on this really white beach, the really white sanded beach. The contrast is great. Makes viewing very nice, and it looks beautiful in the pictures. Got some great pictures by Don Lassie streaming yesterday at the party. Again, the disc is coming out that little bit more. It would have been right in that corner. Now getting the 15-meter brick advance down the field, a third of the field.
So yeah, Singapore will have a good start on this Galaxy Point. Oh, and a low catch, well grabbed. And now they shoot straight to the end zone, low hook, and a great defensive play, laying out brilliant stuff there.
Great tee by Lucas, great layout tee. Number 1, Lucas Yu.
And he's gone straight to the end zone, but they're not going to send it him. They're going to keep it in the short field with Elliot Trotter. And a vagrant flick swing to the far side. Could go anywhere. This one is going to hang up. Both players competing, and a great sky grab. Who else but Warren White having a fantastic game. Reminds me of Nigel Thornberry.
What a nice snack on that dish. Just snacked it out of the air really quickly. D right on him, perfectly positioned.
Smashing stuff from Jonathan Warren White. As we said, his wee kid here, Beatrix, cheering on the sideline. He was talking about at one of their training camps, he was constantly looking at his phone. He was maybe going to have to leave and go to the hospital with kid Jew, but thankfully he didn't have to interrupt their training camp.
But why would because his child was going to be born?
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness, I didn't understand that.
Yeah,
so the
child was due maybe a week or two out from the due date, but had to be prepared to leave his teammates at the training camp and go to hospital, but thankfully that did not happen. Little Beatrix held out.
It's wonderful to start early, adjusting to your parents' ultimate careers. Just
Indeed.
Before birth is the best time, holding it out there. You'll be doing it probably for a long time afterwards as well. We've seen it here with the Guam men's team, a lot of babies. Very nice to see.
Foley this time with the pull. That one probably going to go out as well.
Bulls just not staying in the field as often as we're used to seeing from this team.
Nice, up
nice.
the line shot. That was a beautiful leading pass, and that is textbook beach ultimate offense.
That was amazing. Speaking of Don, I hope he's around with that camera pointed for that layout. From here, from what I see some beautiful rocks behind, a sea full of people, and then about 1 meter up in the air, complete horizontal player catching that beautiful pink disc. Very nice point by Singapore. 7-7.
Yeah, neither team giving an inch here. Everyone fighting to take home the bronze medal. AOBUC2019 here in Shirahama, Wakayama, Japan.
So what other words have you learned in Japanese?
Oishi, which means delicious, just like the Singaporean offense on the last point. Okina Hana, which means big nose, which I often use to describe myself to the local people here in Japan. They get a little laugh out of it. Kim Gatsu, which means gold hair. So you could have Kim Hama, which would be gold sand, but it is the Shirahama here at the Asian Oceanic Beach Ultimate Championships.
Nice movement by Australia.
Payne is gone to the end zone. And a pick is called. A lot of people running close together in the middle of the field.
You were talking yesterday about something about finding your receiver in a phone booth. It's a little bit bigger than a phone booth.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be in a phone booth with the pain train over there. Big man, well fed. But as we saw, probably the most incredible layout on the showcase field yesterday. You can watch that back on the live stream. Everyone had given up on him, but
that was
he definitely
amazing.
doesn't give up.
That was amazing. Seen some great plays by both these teams this weekend, including in this game.
Getting high in the stall count. Looks like there was a foul on the mark. Hip on hip defense here from Singapore. Has to go back a couple of yards to keep possession alive. And the low release break pass to open up the field now. Can find a player in the end zone, but keeping possession, Australia. Another pick called.
And he's explaining. It's a tight game, and it's a tight game.
And the high release lefty there from Kyle. Well fielded by Australia. It's a goal for Trotter. Brilliant catch and assist from Ben Sutas. Played on the men's grass team, I believe, in 2016.
You would never, by watching this game, for those who are watching this game, you would never even think how soft the sand is by the fast footwork of both these teams on O and D. This is really soft sand. We've stopped seeing the stumbling and falling that we saw on the first day. A lot of people trying to take off and explode and just boom, falling. And this crazy wind, it's really strong wind. Again, amazing O by Australia there for the score. An 8-7. Oy, must be close to game time as well. There's the whistle to put the disc back into play. Oh, we just saw a nice attempt at D on the other field. Beautiful Shirahama beach, really pretty white sand, speckled with wonderful jersey shirts from all over Asia. 10 nations present here. And it will be game to 9.
So yeah, 8-7 to score. Singapore coming out on offense now. They'll be hoping to bang this one in and take it to Universe Point, just like the last bronze medal game.
I love medal games that are this close. This is exactly how it should be. Important points at this time of the game, at this end of the game. Both teams want to make sure this defensive strategy, trying to get that break. Lots of cheering on the sideline too.
So it will be Warren White to pull for this D-line. It is game point Australia. If they can get the turn and score, they win. And that is a textbook pull.
Amazing pull. Australia has been the pull masters the whole tournament.
Aaron Forced backhand out from Australia. They've gone back to that to try and stop those inside break throws. Thinking about the hook and a nice flick to open up the field. Oh, and a hand block. Oh my word. Warren White, you are having a sensational week, sir.
Oh my goodness. That was so fast moving. That hand block was amazing.
There's Kylo outside the ends now, looking for Warren White. He gets the winning goal. The bookends. Warren White, future president of Australia, president of the world. You are amazing father and player.
Definite president of the disc in this game and all weekend long. Great work. Heads up for Singapore for a great game. Unfortunately, not being able to bring in the bronze, well-deserved bronze, on the other hand, by the Australia squad after a really tough semis, bringing it in here in a great game, 9-7. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. See you soon. Sophia Pereira.
Yeah, thank you, Sophie. Liam Grant signing off here. Finals coming up in just a few minutes' time. Thank you.